Welcome to another episode of Grammar is Power. In this two-part video, we'll review how to identify sentence types and how to avoid basic sentence structure errors by punctuating compound sentences correctly. We'll also review coordinating conjunctions. Sentence types refers to the structure of sentences based on the number of independent and dependent clauses. This chart identifies the four types of sentences. Let's look at each one in more detail. A simple sentence has one independent clause. In other words, one subject-verb combination that can stand alone as a sentence. What's important to understand is that the sentence type has nothing to do with the length of the sentence. We can add prepositional phrases, for example, without changing the type. As long as we don't add a clause, a subject-verb combination, additional modifying words and phrases do not change the sentence type. Find the subject-verb combination in this lengthy but simple sentence. Did you catch that there is one subject-verb combination, but the verb happens to be compound? Scott is released and learns. The first part of the sentence is not an adverb clause because there's no subject-verb combination. Flashback alert. Whenever you have two or more of any grammatical element, you have a compound. Compound prepositions, also called phrasal prepositions, consist of two or more words. Other compound prepositions include prior to, in spite of, and with regards to. A compound subject is two or more subjects that share the same verb or verbs. Fred and George play tricks. A compound verb is two or more verbs that share the same subject or subjects. Fred plays tricks and takes risks. The same principle applies to direct objects. George called his mother and his sister. And compound objects of prepositions. Fred played tricks on his friends and his brother. Finally, sentences may have two or more clauses. If a sentence has two or more independent clauses and no dependent clauses, it's a compound sentence. The two clauses may be joined in different ways, but each half of the sentence has to be able to stand alone as a sentence. Again, the length of the sentence is irrelevant. Here, there are additional modifiers for the subject and for the predicate, but still two independent clauses only and no dependent clauses. The addition of a third independent clause does not change the sentence type. Now let's look at the punctuation rules involved in creating compound sentences. First, if we use a coordinating conjunction, then we also have to use a comma before it. Future videos will cover other ways to join two independent clauses, but for now, we're looking at using coordinating conjunctions. Flashback alert. Coordinating conjunctions connect words, phrases, and clauses that are grammatically equal. If you were in Miss Holmgren's class, you learned a little chant for them. And, but, or, nor, for, so, yet. If you were in another teacher's class, you might have learned the acronym FANBOYS. For, and, nor, or, yet, so. Either way, you'll save yourself a lot of errors if you memorize them. To join two independent clauses with a coordinating conjunction, use a comma in front of it. Be sure, though, that there are independent clauses on both sides. Otherwise, the coordinating conjunction joins two sentence elements. It doesn't require a comma. Let's say you wanted to join these two groups of words. The first is a prepositional phrase, not an adverb clause, so the comma doesn't apply to this current rule. The sentence has a compound verb joined by and, not two independent clauses. Therefore, no comma in front of the and. Dan here isn't very happy as he defines two common sentence structure errors that drive teachers crazy. They are opposite sides of the same coin, the incorrect joining of independent clauses. Let's look at them both. Run-ons involve using only a coordinating conjunction. They're missing the comma. Just to repeat, you want to make sure both sides are independent clauses. You can draw a line through coordinating conjunctions and check that both sides are independent if that helps you. A comma is needed here. Without it, the sentence is a run-on. Just as with simple sentences, the length of a sentence does not make something a run-on. This sentence adds modifiers and dependent clauses as it grows, but it's not a run-on. Run-ons have to have two independent clauses. A comma splice is the opposite problem. Two independent clauses joined only with a comma. It's missing the coordinating conjunction. First, we look for two separate independent clauses, two subject-verb combinations that can stand alone. After in this sentence is a preposition. Then we look at how they are joined. A coordinating conjunction is needed, so we select the one that best explains the relationship between the two equal ideas in the sentence. Some students find it useful to visualize the rule in basic patterns. Independent clause, comma, coordinating conjunction, independent clause. Here are the patterns for sentence errors. Time for some quick practice. On your notes handout, identify the subjects and the verbs, identify the independent clauses, and then check for and correct run-on and comma splice errors. Pause the video as you work and restart it when you're ready to review the answers. We'll do 3 sentences to finish out this video. There are 2 independent clauses joined only by a coordinating conjunction, a run-on. Correct it with a comma. Number 2. In this sentence, there are 2 subject-verb combinations and 2 clauses. However, one is independent and the other is an adverb clause. Therefore, no comma in front of the and. Here, the and joins compound prepositions, not compound independent clauses. Number 3. The pattern here is independent clause, and adverb clause. Between the 2 independent clauses, the original sentence has only a comma. That makes it a comma splice error. The sentence needs a coordinating conjunction. Continue to the next video to review the other 2 types of sentences.